is up, you sexy beasts? My name is Shadowfax, and or Louise, whichever you want to call me. And today, guys, I wanted to talk about the possibility of something like the Sugar Fright event becoming a permanent fixture within Rainbow Six Siege. Now, hear me out, because I know there was quite a few people out there who were quite disappointed with this event. And I do understand why. As a Halloween event, it kind of sucked. It really did feel like it had been made for maybe Christmas or maybe for April Fools, and, you know, maybe because of COVID or whatever, things went wrong and they ended up shoving it in for Halloween. So as a Halloween event, yes, it sucked. But the idea of it, the respawn thing, I don't think it did. And I wonder if, because there has been a lot of talk within the community for a long time about whether a respawn kind of mode should have come in to Rainbow Six Siege in a way for people to be able to warm up and aim train against actual people rather than bots like you do in Terrorist Hunt. I wonder if they did this to see how it would sort of work, if it was well received, and I feel maybe it wasn't as well received simply because of it supposedly being a Halloween event, and it really didn't feel like it. But personally, I jumped into this. I had a few good games in it, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's not something that I would be able to play over and over again. You know, you play a few games of it, and you end up getting bored, because at the end of the day, we play Siege for the fact of, you know, what Siege is, and Siege is not a respawn game. It is a game where, you know, once you die, that's it, you're out for that round. And that's one of the things that we absolutely love about it. But I did enjoy just having something a little bit different to do, but also it made me think, and it made me, I feel like it gave me the opportunity to be able to practice some things. So aside from the fact that Sugar Fright as an event was rubbish for Halloween, I did like it because I felt like it gave me an opportunity, as I said, to be able to jump into a game and actually practice my aiming and be able to warm up for a proper game of Siege against actual people rather than bots. And, you know, then you get a better feel for it. But also, as you can see in this gameplay, I am basically just holding this building. This is basically all I'm doing. I'm just holding this building, and I was really, really enjoying myself because I felt like I was practicing. So when I'm actually in a proper match of Siege, you know, I play a lot of ranked now. The main thing I do is I am an anchor, because that is what I'm best at. I do a bit of roaming sometimes, but a lot of the time, mainly, I'm an anchor. So this gave me the opportunity to practice being an anchor in my eyes by staying in this building. I pretend that this building is the objective. It is, you know, it's the bomb, and it's what I've got to defend. And so I just held this building, and it gave me a lot of opportunities to be able to try and outsmart people. You know, they think I'm one way, I can maybe, you know, like as you saw just before, I flashed them and then I jumped down and came up behind them. But also just gives me that bit of practice with my aim against real people, but also of holding an actual sight, an objective. And that's what I really enjoyed. As soon as I push up, that's when it all starts to go wrong for me. But, you know, I feel like you could also use this to practice if you want to do roaming. Like, I would love to be able to do more roaming. Sometimes I'm good at it, majority of the time I'm not. That's why the majority of the time I play as an anchor. And so I feel like if they brought something like this out permanently, but instead of just having these few operators that you can use and they've all got the same gun, because in this you've only got the choice between 3 guns, bring out every single operator that, you know, that you can use in a normal match with their actual guns, and be able to use them and get used to them. You know, sometimes there are operators that we don't use. You know, they don't use that much. Maybe you're a person that just sticks to the operators that worked for you. So it would give you an opportunity to quickly get used to other operators and be able to use them. That would be very beneficial. And I find that, like, you know, maybe you really, really want to use Cav. Like, Cav is a very, very good operator, but she is a hard operator to use. And she takes a lot of practice. And especially if you want to get good with her and you want to be able to maybe even main her, you need to be able to have a lot of time to practice with her, and you can't in a normal match, you know, because you'll use her, you might not get a kill and die really quickly, and that will happen several times, and you get really, really demotivated, because in that space that you've died, you then had to sit and wait, and you may even feel like you're letting your team down or whatever. Whereas if you can come into a mode like this where it doesn't really matter, and you can use her and you can run around with her and maybe make it your goal to practice with her, to make it through over to their spawn, you know, then that gives you an opportunity to use her and get to know her a lot quicker and get used to her and find that maybe, you know, maybe you can use her, maybe you can't use her, and get to know if she's an operator that you really want to get good with. It gives you an opportunity to practice. You know, you've got certain defenders that are anchor orientated, so, you know, you could do like me, hold a building. The roamers like Vigil, again, you could just run around like a nutter with Vigil and get used to him, get used to his gun, and get used to running around and being a roamer. It just seems like this would be such a good mode to be able to not only practice your aim against real people, but get to know different operators, ones that you maybe don't usually use that much. Get used to anchoring, get used to roaming. You know, on the defenders, the attackers, you have ones that, you know, their thing is to get in there and, you know, get some kills, get in there quick, like Ash. You know, you could use her and be able to run around the map like a nutter. And, you know, again, and just try and get as many kills and get used to these operators. You know, some of the attackers, they're meant for more of a slower push. So, you know, practice doing more of a slower push with them. You know, that's something that I sort of, like, was one of my big things is I am the type of person where the gameplay I like to do is to run in like a nutter, but I'm not necessarily good at it. So I had to get used to doing a slower push, using operators, more support orientated operators, and doing a slower push with them. That is something that you could really, really practice in a shorter amount of space of time if you had a game mode like this. Now, back when I first started playing this game, as you know, and the idea of TDM was sort of proposed for this game, I was like, no. If I want to do TDM, I'll go over to COD. You know, TDM, this is Siege. This is completely different. It shouldn't be in there. But thinking about it, the amount of opportunities that it could give you, not only to jump in quick before you go into your ranked matches to warm up and, you know, train your aim against real people, but the fact that you could go in there and practice with proper operators. One of the things I sometimes do is I like to muck around with the attachments on different guns and see what fits me, what suits me, and I have to keep going into terrorist hunt to do that. If you were able to swap about with different attachments while you're in game in a TDM and run around like a nutcase using it, then you would, again, a lot quicker be able to get through the different attachments and see what sort of attachments you want on what guns. It's just, to me, it just seems like something like this would be very beneficial, not just to maybe people that are new to the game and are learning different operators, but, you know, maybe to people that have been in the game for a while, but maybe they stick to a certain set of operators and, you know, maybe they want to branch out, but, you know, I don't know, they take Rook a lot and they do really well with him and they want to branch out, but they're a little bit scared to, because it's going to take them 10 years to get used to another one because of the amount of times that, you know, you die and then you're just sitting there and it feels like it's going to take you 10 years to be able to get used to a new operator, and you feel like in that time you're letting your team down. Whereas if you could jump into, you know, a TDM match, then you could use a new operator and get used to them, and it doesn't matter if you do bad with them. It doesn't matter, and you can get used to them. It would also give everybody an opportunity to be able to practice going against different operators as well. You know, the amount of times that you play ranked and the same operators are banned over and over again. You know, Clash, constantly banned because people, they don't seem to know how to deal with her. She's actually, like, when I first started playing this game, I fucking hated her, but I've learned how to deal with her. And so I don't mind her being on the board. And it's like people feel like I don't want to learn how to deal with her while I'm actually in a match and, you know, maybe lose against her while I'm practicing against her, you know, and cause me to lose a whole match. If she's in this game mode and someone's using her and you get to go against her, that is practice. That is, you know, going against a Cav in this sort of game mode. It would be practice. Of course, like, it's not going to work completely smoothly, so maybe things would need to be worked out if you're going to be doing a team deathmatch and you're bringing people's, you know, their gadgets in with them. but you know, it's not gonna work so much. You know, maybe you'd have to limit like how many gridlock can throw down, or you know. But at the end of the day, it's practice. It's practice for getting to know new operators that you haven't used before. Maybe ones that you've previously seen as useless, but they're actually not. But also getting used to all the different guns. You know, maybe you're really crap at fighting long range, like I am. That would give you a chance to practice fighting long range. Maybe, you know, there's a certain gun that is only good at short, you know, medium to short range distance, and you really like that gun, but you keep finding yourself in these long range fights. Maybe then it will teach you how to maneuver yourself to be able to get round so that you're not in these long range fights. There's so much that I feel like could be done and you could practice in a game mode like this. But I'm wording it really, really crap. But that has been my thoughts and feelings on it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think that this game mode would be good to come out as a practice mode? You know, something that's permanently there that everyone can jump in, and it'd be something that you can use to practice. But anyway, guys, that has been it from me. I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll see you later. I love you guys. Bye!